Do it again, Griffin.
Oh, come on. I just did it like 5 times.
Do it!
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours. Damn right. It's better than yours. I can teach you, but I have to charge.
Texas Prison Story family, salute y'all. It's your boy Tim Snow back here with another one. And this one is kind of needed. I'm seeing that the South Park monster is starting to go viral on TikTok. Not starting to, went viral on TikTok again. I'm seeing more momentum on the DJ Screw Facebook groups where these guys are coming out like he's their hero. It's literally a damn shame that they even allow this man to be attached to DJ Screw's legacy in any type of way, because that's the real king of the South as far as any Texan will tell you. But that's a whole different topic. We might get into that later. What I'm going to do right here is we're going to talk a little bit about just the character and the fact that if you give people enough rope to hang themselves, 9 times out of 10, you're going to find them swinging. So we'll talk a lot tonight. All right. One of the main things that I've never liked about this case is the way that they demonize and villainize the victims. One of the main problems I had with the people that left a comment on the SPM exposed video was everybody was rationalizing and making it seem okay because SPM met this girl in a strip club. She was only 13 years old. Some type of way they're blaming that girl's parents. They're blaming the strip club. They're blaming the girl. But nobody was blaming SPM. You understand? I don't know about y'all, but I do believe if I walked into a room full of butt-naked grown women, I would be able to tell someone's wrong with one of them. Might not be my place to call 911 because I don't even know for sure, but that's not going to be the one that I gravitate towards. Never. So that story was always strange to me. And then we find out that this young stripper, he was taking her back and forth to junior high, and he later proposed to her, even though he was already married. So it's a strange situation, and we're going to talk about that. This clip that I'm getting ready to play is actually SPM's son, J.D. Coy, with that young girl right there, and he's addressing Baby Bash. Baby Bash did a DJ Vlad interview that got millions of views where he's talking about his mom. He says that Baby Bash disrespected his mom, that he lied on his mom, but he never tells what the lie was, so we were all confused, okay? We're going to now get a little bit more into that, and I think everybody needs to see this. So again, this is J.D. Coy, the son of that alleged stripper, talking about DJ Vlad in the Baby Bash interview.
Baby Bash wasn't there for my situation. You know what I'm saying? My mom was 13. How the fuck could he be there? You know what I'm saying? My mom saw the Vlad interview. She was pissed. She wanted to call Vlad and do her own interview. You know what I'm saying? She wanted to tell her story because Bash was bashing her. You don't bash my mom, bro, and you lying on my mom. You speaking on my mom and you lying on my mom. You know what I'm saying? I'm not feeling that shit. So that's why I'm coming out and I'm telling everybody what it is. What's the truth? You know what I'm saying? You know, my mom was young.
Clearly, the man is emotional, right? And he's saying Bash lied on his mom. But that's where it ends right there. So we're going to get into what was Baby Bash lying about. All right, y'all. So let's see what Baby Bash is talking about. We seen J.D. Coy emotional. Seemed like he was telling the truth, man. Usually when people are emotional, they don't lie. So let's see what he said about his mom.
Convicted of when he was 23 and the girl was 13, she was working at a strip club. You know that, right?
I did not.
Okay, she was a stripper. You can't be a stripper.
She was a 13-year-old
stripper. You can't. So whoever hired her she had her some ID or something. She was a stripper. It's all documented. She was a stripper. If you really look into it, she was a stripper. He has a one-night stand with her, and that's what happened. So,
all right. So listen, Baby Bash. Did you hear how many times he said stripper? He said it's documented, it's facts, and that SPM had a one-night stand with her. Brother, you was a lying piece of you know what. Man, I tell you what, dog, you just every bit as sorry as SPM, and you're probably worse because SPM is not the one out here pushing this bullshit. It's people like you, Baby Bash, people like Juan Gotti, these other performers that'll dare to go on stage and scream free SPM. It's people like y'all that have a following, have a platform that steadily push this bullshit, okay? So you heard what he said over and over and over again, that this girl's a stripper and it's documented, right? And this man was like brothers with SPM. He was signed to SPM, got him from California, signed him to his label, and moved him to Houston. They did everything together. Wiggy, 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 their most popular song was them together. And I think Baby Bash wrote it. So, think about how much he knows and how bad he's lying. This right here is an actual quote from SPM during the interview that he did concerning the baby mama that we're talking about, JD Coy's mom, the person that Baby Bash just said was documented stripper. Everybody knew it. SPM says, I keep hearing this thing about Jill being a stripper when I met her, but I've never said that and I doubt it's true. She became a stripper later in life, and maybe that's where the confusion came about. I met her through a friend named MC Free. He and I were in a rap group in 93 and 94. I would go to his house in Denver Harbor, a neighborhood in Houston, and we would work on songs. One night, some chicks called his house and wanted to chill. It was Jill, her sister, and some other chick. To me, Jill was just a girl from Pasadena who'd spend the night every now and then. She knew I had a girlfriend. Huh? Let me leave that up there for y'all for a minute so you can digest that. This is from the horse's mouth right here. This is the only interview I can ever find where he says it. And I believe he probably regretted ever saying it, because the reason they kept pushing this line and everybody was saying that she's a stripper is because they were trying to redirect responsibility from the grown man. At all times, it's the grown man's fault if he's dealing with a young girl. If young girls lie to you, young fellas, it's your fault for not checking. You understand? You will be labeled like this, a sicko, a pedophile, a danger to the community. When I was 17, 18, I was sleeping with older women. I was shooting for chicks in their 30s. So these guys in their 20s that are shooting for 14-year-olds, I don't understand it. Look what he said. To me, Jill was just a girl from Pasadena who would spend the night every now and then. Fuck you mean? She was 13 and she was spending the night with grown men, hanging out in your studio with drugs and crime going on, all this shit. And he says it so casually right there that you know there's a serious problem with his thinking. And that I wanted to start this video with and clear that lady's name, man. Y'all need to stop lying on this woman, because I didn't even know the truth. I didn't know that. A lot of people don't know that the 9-year-old girl, her grandfather, when he was told the news, he had a heart attack and died. So this man molesting his granddaughter made him die. I don't think that's a direct murder or anything like that, but that's pretty indirectly you did that. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of stuff, a lot of people's lives have been ruined. We talked about the number of victims, and we'll get into that in a minute. I just really needed y'all to see this right here. JD Coy mad, Baby Bash line, his credibility is over, and it's unbelievable. You know what I mean? Like, if y'all seen him doing this back then, why didn't you stop him? It's just unbelievable. We're going to go in a little more with Baby Bash and what he's talking about, and then flip the script to something that you're not going to believe. I believe I'm going to be the first person to ever speak on this, period, with any type of platform, just like I was pretty much the first one in Texas anyway to speak on SPM in a negative light and a truthful light. So I want you to pay attention to what Bash says is about the 9-year-old girl, okay? Now, keep in mind, he's already a stone cold liar. We just proved that, okay? So we don't even know how much of this is true. Let's just see.
Convicted for sexual assault of a minor and gets sentenced to 45 years in prison.
Yeah, I was right there.
You were right there when all that happened.
Right there.
So from your point of view, does he?
You were right there. I'm not going to accuse you, man. But you know what? If you've seen all this BS going on and you didn't stop it, you're definitely negligent. How about that? At the very least, if you were around while he was messing with little children and you knew about it, you're bad negligence. So I hope, Bash, that you didn't know about it. How about that?
Do you have a defense when it comes to that?
Yeah, I mean, I would never support a child molester, a child predator, or whatever. I wouldn't care if it was my father, if it was my brother, if it was my mother. I would never support a child predator.
Yet he's done it for 20 years. What do you say, liar? Boy, cut it out. You've been doing it the whole time.
I was there. I know what happened. I was there when the female that he was having an affair with made the phone call to Dope House Records saying she wanted $20,000 from Carlos because he was having an affair with her because Carlos was fucking with her. So Carlos is fucking with it's his best friend's girl. That's why the kids were staying out at his house, because they were friends. They grew up together. So he was fucking her on the side while he was married. His best friend was in jail. He started fucking the girl, the wife. The wife.
All right, so there it is right there. That'll lead us into our next clip where he says the 9-year-old victim's mom was somebody that Carlos Coy had an affair with. It was his best friend's wife while his best friend was in jail. Boy, you're a hell of a dude, ain't you? What a good friend. And I'm going to believe that part right there because SPM has said it himself in numerous interviews that he was sleeping with this lady even though he was married. And he's basically said in other interviews, you know, he liked the ladies, put it like that. So that's going to flip us into our next clip that y'all really need to see. And this is going to be the first time that anybody's reacted about it or talked about it since it's been published. And I don't know why. This next clip right here is taken from the Donnie Houston podcast. Okay. He did a interview with SPM from the jail cell. And Donnie has a good show. I've actually been on it myself. I do support him. He's a journalist. That's all he is, through and through. He interviews people and gives the city of Houston what they want. And crazy enough, this is what the city of Houston really wanted. So Donnie was able to make it happen. But again, here goes that rope where people start hanging themselves with. Check out what SPM says.
Honestly, I got into rap. You know, it's an interesting story. I was convinced that I had gotten AIDS. I was convinced that a chick at Milby Night School had given me AIDS, and I thought I was going to die. And I knew that you only had 5 years to live. Everybody was dying within 5 years, so I knew I had 5 years to do something. I had to live my whole life in 5 years. And really what I was trying to do is save my mother the burden of having to spend all that money on a casket.
That was the crazy part. Donnie asked him what the interview was there for. Hey, man, how did you get into rap? SPM goes off on a weird thing saying, well, it's a long story. I thought a girl from high school gave me HIV and I was going to die within 5 years. And when I heard that, that threw me for such a loop. I said, what did he just say? I ran it back. That's exactly what he said. As he was starting to rap, just starting to think about rapping, he already thought he had HIV. And that's crazy. That's pretty stressful.
And, you know, all the funeral expenses, you know, because she was slaving at this grocery store, checking out groceries, just barely making ends meet, trying to raise 3 kids. And, you know, we lived in a trailer, and I was like, fuck, I got to do something. So I said, well, I'm going to get a quick 2-year degree and try to open up a business and maybe have a little business where I could at least be able to pay for my own funeral.
So you heard it right there. He's literally thinking he has 5 years to live, wants to start a business, make some money or something so his mama won't have to pay for his funeral. This is before rap. He's still trying to figure out what he's going to do. I'm going to skip a little bit ahead right there because I'm not interested in his rap stories, not at all. Trying to show y'all something today why y'all need to stop that man and stop supporting this crazy shit. Here we go, look.
I got into the game, bro. I got into the game, and
so this is at 17. You get into the game.
This is at 17. Yeah, this is at 17, and the reason I say that And the reason I know is because, a few months later, I'm in a 7.7 Seville, smoke gray, gold trim, black ragtop on swing, and I remember the sticker on my license plate said 1987. That's why I can remember the history and know that that's how old I was. But I told myself, that I want to go into business, and really all I need is a nice car.
Remember what he said, y'all, 1987. So we're really going back right now. This is still before he was SPM.
And I just need a nice car so that when I do business, I didn't even know what kind of business I was going to do. But I got the nice car, but I never did stop. And lo and behold, I found out that you could live longer, that some people do live longer. I saw on the news that this one kid or this one man had it 20 years and was just now starting to die.
Wait.
Like,
You're still convinced that you have that you never got tested for? You just assume it.
Bro, if I tell you how I know I had this, because I didn't think I had it. I absolutely knew I had it. That's a really long story. All the symptoms, all the reasons why I truly believed I had this. But yes, I thought this all the way until prison, till I was dying, literally dying in prison.
All right, now listen. He just said, or Bash said, he was sleeping with his best friend's wife. He was married. He had children. No telling how many girls he slept with on tour. He literally molested a 9-year-old girl with other accusations and many other charges. There was something like 8 girls or something like that, 8 or 9. I can't remember off the top of my head. Not only is he making them sexual assault victims, he's consciously thinking that he has HIV. He's not caring if he kills these little kids. He didn't care if he killed his best friend's woman. Do y'all understand what he just said? The man said all the way up until prison, he was convinced he had HIV. So all the people out there, the ladies that see this, the fans, if y'all ever know anybody that said they kicked it with SPM in that type of way, just know he was trying to kill him. You know what I mean?
Let me tell you something. Either God gave me a miracle, or your brain is one powerful fucking thing. It will literally kill you if you convince it that you're sick. Because my body was falling apart. I was sleeping over 20 hours a day. I only woke up to eat and shit, and that's it, went back to sleep. I was dying.
Here's why I gotta call bullshit. Anybody that's watched this that did any time, man, that's them stressors. That's some people that can't accept what's happening to them. They go sleep 20 hours a day, never come to the day room, never want to talk. You know what I mean? That's not HIV, buddy. That's you trying to deal with 45 years of ag and what you did. And no, I don't think God would have wasted a blessing on you. Not even slightly. But you know what? Most sex offenders, they're manipulators, they're controllers, and they always think that they can outsmart everybody. You know what I mean? That's literally what I'm hearing right here. So you have to just think that this shit's gonna get a little bit worse, okay? We're fixing to go into the next part, and I'm gonna let you see it for yourself right here. All right, here we go with this one from Donnie Houston. Donnie Houston asking him, what was going on your last days or something like that. And here goes SPM discussing why his bond was revoked. Now, he was arrested for aggravated sexual assault of the 9-year-old child, released on bond, and then lost his bond. And this part right here is what his fans will never, ever talk about. And we're going to get into it.
Come again? Come one more time, Donnie?
So I was saying, tell me how it was, during those sessions of the album before you had to go in, where y'all was just partying and just having
Okay, well, what happened was, bro, I was on like some kind of probation when I was going to court. I was on a probation where I had to I had to do a piss test every Monday. There was some kind of probation because I was going to court. They put me on some kind of weird thing where I had to report every Monday and do a drug test. So I couldn't smoke no weed in that. I remember I was at Chico's Sports Bar on a Sunday night getting fucked up. You know, I was just getting drunk, you know.
Pay attention. This is the story right here on why he lost his bond. He was at Chico's Sports Bar getting drunk.
These were kind of dark times for me because I got blindsided by these charges, and it was heavy on me, you know. I didn't like that. I had to go report, and I damn sure didn't like that I had to quit smoking weed. But anyway, I was getting drunk as hell at Chico's, and I remember I had to go home. I had to go to that house where I was living with all my homeboys because they won't even let me live in my own home. See, that's why we were all living together. I had a Filero, Lord Loco, Johnny Cantu, Muhammad Mitchell, you know, Juan Gotti. It was like, oh, man, that motherfucking house smelled like nothing but pot and pussy, bro. It was just stuff with hoes.
Pot and pussy. And he already said at this time he still thinks he has HIV. How much of that do you think he was partaking in at the time?
Oh my God, bro. Niggas just goddamn, they should call that motherfucker the gonorrhea house or something. Motherfucker just acting bad at that motherfucker. But anyway, we had fun, bro. We had fun, but I was still missing my family. But I rented a really nice house for my boy Donnie Burns. You know, I had a master bedroom with a jacuzzi, and you know, but of course I'm wishing I'm home with my family, you know, but still, you know what I'm saying? We had a lot of fun. But anyway, I'm at Chico's.
The reason he's saying he wasn't even allowed to be around his family because he had young kids. His daughter was in the room when he molested a 9-year-old. So at that point, they're considering him not even safe to be around his own children.
Man, I could barely walk. I said, man, I'm gonna wreck my car. You know, so I'm in the restroom and I see some dudes snorting some coke, and they dip it with their car keys. And I said, man, dame un llavecito. That means give me a little key. Give me a little key. And de nada, you know, no problem. I mean, you know, claro que sí, you know, no problem. So they dip their car key in the coke, and they hit me up on one nostril, then they dip it again, and they hit me up on the other nostril, so I can wake up and I can drive home. Yeah. I totally forget that I did that. And the next day, I go do the piss test. So ultimately, that's what led to me losing my bond. And anyway,
All right, did you hear that? He did 2 bumps off a key of cocaine in the restroom. And he said ultimately that's what led him to losing his bond. Man, this guy gets worse and worse the more he talks, man. So let's show why he really lost his bond. It says March 12, 2002, a rapper known as South Park Mexican has been arrested on 3 counts of sexual assault of 2 14-year-old girls. 2 of the latest counts involved alleged assaults almost a decade ago. The third involves an alleged assault last month while Coyle was on bond, on charges of aggravated sexual assault of a child. The earlier charges involved 2 children aged 9 and 13. Okay. Think about that. The third involves an alleged assault last month while Coy was on bond on charges of aggravated sexual assault of a child. Here goes your favorite YouTuber back. I'm going to run back what I said back then. Check it out.
6, 2002, the Harris County District Attorney's Office files additional sexual assault charges against Coy, alleging that on February 3, Coy, who was awaiting the Jane Doe trial with some friends, picked up 2 14-year-old female fans and took them to a motel in North Houston. That's what I was telling y'all about. Let me read this again, y'all. Pay attention. On March 6, 2002, the Harris County District Attorney's Office files additional sexual assault charges on Coy, alleging February 3rd, Coy, who was waiting the Jane Doe trial and some friends picked up two 14-year-old female fans and took them to a motel in North Houston while out on bond. Coy says nothing sexual took place during the visit, claiming that he napped in the hotel room while the rest of the group went to local cafes. But one girl claims she had sex with the rapper. Coy turns himself in on March 7th and his bond is revoked.
Now you hear what that says? Let's listen to that one more time. I'm sorry, the first one I had it on fast speed. Y'all know I'm a rookie. Let's listen to it again.
On March 6, 2002, the Harris County District Attorney's Office files additional sexual assault charges against Coy, alleging that on February 3, Coy, who was awaiting the Jane Doe trial, and some friends picked up two 14-year-old female fans and took them to a motel in North Houston. That's what I was telling y'all about. Let me read this again, y'all. Pay attention. On March 6, 2002, the Harris County District Attorney Office files additional sexual assault charges on Coy, alleging February 3rd, Coy, who was waiting the Jane Doe trial, and some friends picked up two 14-year-old female fans and took them to a motel in North Houston while out on bond.
All right, y'all. It had nothing to do with snorting cocaine in the bathroom. The man got re-indicted for another 14-year-old. He just got through naming all the friends that he was living with. And now it's saying him and some friends picked him up and took him to the room. His story was, those friends went out to eat with him. Man, it's the same friends that protect him, the same friends that lie for him, the same ones that push this agenda. You take with that what you want. It's not a good look, man. Texas Prison Story family, I appreciate y'all watching this. I just wanted to point out, clear that girl's name, show a little bit about how this man fucking lies so much, and just let y'all know, man, real men in Texas just do not support this. Much love.